Today we're gonna get technical. Oh, so technical. I mean, not really technical. You could probably just follow along and, you know, just like step by step and then it'd be done for you. We're gonna get into some redstone creations. This is a way to create a bridge in lava using the new mechanics in Minecraft 1.16. So here we are inside of Minecraft, and this is a redstone contraption that we're going to make. And really, I want to run it so that you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's like, okay, that looks complicated. Why would I ever spend my life doing this? So we're just gonna go ahead and start it off. Oops, I missed. There we go. And as it goes through the lava here, it's using the new mechanic of soul soil and blue ice to create a basalt pathway through the lava. And this is a really nice pathway that has like these walls here, and you can easily traverse through a lava lake. You don't even gotta worry about those darn striders and making sure that they're happy and find anything, you know, put on them and wart and blah, blah, blah. So with this redstone creation, you can create these really nice bridges in order to get across lava lakes. There are some bugs, and we're gonna talk about those bugs. And also right now, it's kind of getting away from me. This is a flying machine that just flies, so we're just gonna throw more than 13 blocks on there and then it'll stop. But if you have a lava lake that you know that you want to traverse, then this is a fantastic option for you. Now, what bugs am I talking about? If there's anything at the bottom of the lake that may snag onto the slime blocks, you want to make sure that those are gone and that those are not there. So you either want to make sure that your lava lake is deep enough to support this, or you want to use this trick to looky-loo into the lava. So I have switched my game mode into survival to show you that this can be accomplished in survival mode. I'm not in, you know, fancy creative cheats. The tools we're gonna need to be able to look underneath the lava are going to be any type of piston, a string, composter, a lever, and just a few blocks. This is actually, we're gonna be using the same X-ray technique that I've shown off in the past, but it works in lava and it works really well. We're gonna throw down a composter inside of the lava right here, and I'm gonna put string on top of that. Why am I putting string there? Because the composter can catch on fire. The only thing that'll stop it from being caught on fire is that if every block around it is occupied, and the string will not catch on fire and it'll occupy that space. So our composter won't randomly catch on fire while we're building the rest of this thing. Next, just build up a little bit of netherrack. Really, that is all you need. And now I've fallen down. I can't get up. So just build out a little L of netherrack right there. You're going to put down a lever, and you can go ahead and just turn that on right now, and then go ahead and stand inside of the composter. Take your piston and place it on the block directly above you. So like here, let me just show it's going to squish me into the composter is the whole point of it. So we're going to put it there. The redstone is already activated, so immediately the piston is going to fire, and it pushes us into the composter. It also gave us our string back because the piston crushed our string. So right here, this is where I want to eventually build the next of my bridge making redstone machines. And you can see there is a few things that are gonna get in our way. And if I would have done this earlier, way over there, I could kind of see that would have caused me issues with my previous redstone creation if I would have done this technique right over there, so I could actually see that. It was, you know, it's silly of me that I didn't do this. But it looks like moving forward with this redstone bridge making, we're not gonna have any issues as long as we clear away the area directly in front of us. So all I need to do is use a pick, maybe block out a bit, and make sure that this area with solid blocks isn't gonna cause us any problems. And then once you're done with this machine, you can just use your hand. Remember, I'm still in survival mode, and so you could break that piston and break all this and just get it all back. Probably that composter's, yeah, gonna burn up. I'm not gonna lie, there's a small chance that I used command blocks to make sure that it all cleared out. And by command blocks, I just mean commands. I use the fill command. But there you go. This should not give us a problem anymore. And it is obviously all clear and free to go. So the first step is to clear away an area for you to actually put this redstone build in. And right here, I've gone ahead and cleared out an area. You really need this to be a 6 wide, 15 block deep, and a 3 block down area that's just completely empty. And when I'm talking about those numbers, I mean the empty spaces, not the blocks on the edge. You need to have an empty air-filled area. Also, when it comes to sort of making an area that is the edge of the lava, you can use a good technique, which is to, if you're in this situation where you have a solid wall and no lava, make sure you dig one down and break out that bottom block. So by default, it looks something like this. And we just want to make sure that that bottom block is broken, and then fill in the area that is going to be your floor, and then go from the bottom up and destroy the blocks. And what's going to happen is the lava is going to flow forward. It's going to notice that there's a hole there, and it's going to fill into that hole so it won't overflow into your work area, which is really nice. And if you go from the top down, then it'll flow over and have the same horrible thing. But if you go from the bottom up, then you won't ever have the issue of the lava overflowing. And if you ever get something like that, which I did just because of demonstrations, then you can just put a block there and it'll all update correctly. So there you go. Now you have a nice trough free of blocks so that our sticky pistons and slime blocks don't accidentally lock onto the side of our building area. That would be bad. Here's the material that you need in order to build this. You need 4 soul soil, 4 blue ice, 13 slime blocks, 5 pistons, 3 sticky pistons, 6 observers, and 4 honey blocks. If for some reason you missed a few OMG crafts lately, I don't blame you, but please don't do it again. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Well, here's the technique that we're using with this redstone contraption. Is if you have soul soil and it is at the bottom of lava, it doesn't have to be a lava source block, it can just be a flowing lava block, and then you put blue ice around it, that lava will turn into this crazy basalt. So we're going to utilize that technique in order to force a line of basalt, and then we're gonna push it down into this cool trough so we can walk. So let's start building. First off, we're gonna make sure that our slime block is not going to be touching the wall, otherwise it will not move. So it does need to be floating in air, and it also should be 1 block below the lava that you'll eventually turn into basalt. So right there is the lava lake. You wanna make sure that you got a block of lava, and then underneath that is your slime. We're gonna build out 4 slime, and then we're gonna put down our soul soil. So as our contraption moves into the lava, we'll have some flowing lava that'll hit these slime blocks, and it'll also hit this soul soil, which is all that we want. I know it looks a little weird that we're leading with slime here with our creation, but that's totally fine. Next, we need to make a support for our slime. So that's a temporary block, and then another slime, and we're gonna go up 3 blocks in total. And on the bottom of that block, we're going to need to use 1 of our sticky pistons firing into the slimes that we already have. I'm also gonna put down 2 temporary blocks, 1 here and then 1 here. Whoop, not there. Right there, and that is just so that I can put an observer that is going to be facing into the slime above the piston, and you need to click on that temporary block in order to face it correctly, so that arrow points into this pillar here. When I destroy this block, that observer is going to fire, which is going to push that out. We don't want that, so I'm just gonna put and break a block real fast so that it sucks it back up. Up here at the top of our pillar, I'm gonna put down a few temporary blocks. So it's gonna go temporary, temporary, not so temporary, and we're gonna destroy the 2 temporary blocks. Then on the front of that not so temporary block, I'm gonna put down a normal piston. Then we're gonna take the rest of our honey blocks and we're going to make them out in a line here. So that was all 4 honey blocks right there. Then we're gonna take our blue ice, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and set that at the bottom of the honey. Then we're gonna take an observer, and facing towards the back of our build, we're gonna place it down so that the arrow points towards the normal normal piston that is pointing towards that weird pillar. So right now, if this contraption was to have basically an engine and we were to push it across, it would make a perfect line of basalt for across, but we want to have that really cool trough. We want to be able to walk here with the sides. So we're going to build next a little like piston creation in order just to do that. So we're going to put down one temporary block and then a not so temporary block and another not so temporary block. Then I'm going to need to put down observers to create a redstone signal. So we're going to put down a temporary block and another temporary block and destroy the first one, and take two observers and point them towards the top. So make sure their faces are at the top, their arrows point down. Now we're going to add a few pistons. The pistons on the bottom are going to face towards the bottom, and that way when this moves forward, they fire and they push down any block that is sitting right here. So this block will be pushed down and that will create our trough. We also need a piston to move it forward, so we're just gonna stick a normal piston onto the edge. It can be on either side, but you only need one of them. And these observers are also going to fire that piston as well. Now we need an engine for our creation, and so we're going to put down a temporary block and another temporary block, and then two more blocks. These are not so temporary. Destroy the first two temporary blocks and stick a piston facing towards your the rest of your build already. And then over here, you're going to put down a sticky piston facing towards the back, and then an observer right behind that with the arrow pointing into that piston. On the front of that sticky piston, you're gonna put two slime blocks, and then you're gonna come around to the other side and basically do the same thing that you just did here. Make another piston, but this time it's a sticky piston, and this time make sure that it's facing towards the front, not the back, and then put an observer with its arrow pointing into the sticky piston. And this is the final build. You have completed it. Hooray! In order to activate this redstone creation, we need to update this observer right here. We just need to do it really once. So you can take any block that isn't going to stick to it and just place it right in front of that thing's face, and it will activate and start to move. And as you can see, everything is working perfectly, which makes me feel good. You will have a weird start that'll kind of look like this. That's just because the lava flowing has to get around that first pillar that's at the front, and so it'll create sort of a jagged start to your pathway, but that's totally fine. And now we have a solid block bridge through the lava, no use of striders at all, and we can just feel good about ourselves for creating such a cool redstone situation. And just to reiterate, what's happening is this first area is moving forward. The soul soil and the blue ice are coming in contact just momentarily, creating the basalt as it moves along. And then these pistons go ahead and push that all the way down. And then our engine ends up pushing the rest of the creation forward. Now, if you need to stop this thing, the best way to do it is to stick an immovable block onto like really anywhere, and then the whole thing will just stop as long as it's on the front, and it'll stop. Or it'll eventually probably run into land, as it's going to do, and it'll go ahead and stop itself. Yes, complete the bridge. And there you go. So now it has, it's probably stuck on something on the bottom, which made the whole thing stop. And this is quite a long bridge with, I would say, very, very little effort from, me. Like, I don't have to place anything. This is great. Huge thank you to Jamman214 for the original creation of this redstone build. I really, really like it. Thank you so much to you for designing it. Thanks so much for watching OMG Craft. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Also, make sure you subscribe for future videos, tips, tricks, tutorials, and spotlights here on OMG Craft. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.